to another episode of Cooking with Craig. Today we are going to be making some barbecue wings in a pressure cooker today. So if you've ever seen me do my barbecue sauce that I've done on some pork ribs, make sure you check out the cards up here now. You'll know that my sauce is amazing and is very truly Australian. So today we're going to do the same style sauce and rub on some chicken wings. Now I have some chicken wings that I've got here. They are my favourite. They're the V-wings, so they've had the little fluffy bit that goes at the end taken off already for me. All we have to do with these, set them in a rub, brown them in the pressure cooker, put in some stock at the bottom, cook them, then we come back, we take them out, we then make our sauce in the bottom with all the juices that come off our wings and our stock that we put in the bottom originally. We make that into the sauce, we chuck the wings back in for the last bit and just cook that sauce into the flesh. Alright, let's set up so that we can make the dry rub first. Alright, now we've got all of our ingredients just for the dry rub on the bench here. So we have, what is it? Two teaspoons of paprika. 1 teaspoon of keen as mustard. You can use any type of mustard really, but it's good to use keen. Good to be keen. What's next? 2 teaspoons of dried oregano. 1, 2. 2 teaspoons of dried rosemary leaves. 1, 2. Oh, I love the smell of herbs. They all smell beautiful. What's next? 2 teaspoons of chili powder. You can use a mild, hot. I'm using hot for this, just to give it a bit of a zing in the sauce and also on the wings themselves. 2 teaspoons of onion, dried onion. 1, 2, and 2 teaspoons of chives. Now you might have gone, most of that was all 2 teaspoons. I'm like, yeah, it is. It's very easy to go along with this recipe. The only thing that has a 1 teaspoon is the keen as mustard. Alright. Stir all of this up. Break up any little clumps you've got. Now this rub is only good for one use. Don't make it in advance and put it in the cupboard and come back to it in about 6 months' time, because it won't have the same potency, and yeah, the herbs sort of don't like to stay together for a long period of time in the cupboard. So bake it maybe a day in advance, or the same day you want to use it. I wouldn't keep it any more longer than a week. There we go. Now as you can see, that's all been mixed together. I don't mind about getting my fingers dirty. Now next step, we're going to get these wings coated in that. Open up my wings. Now I always like to try and get my chicken at a reduced price, because I always like to get it in special. So when I do, I usually freeze most of my purchases and put them in the freezer. So these have been in the freezer for a little while. Been out today for about a couple of hours, so that there's enough for me to be able to pull them apart like that, so that I can do my rub on them. Alright, so let's put a couple in the bottom here. Alright, now that I have my wings here, time to cover these in my rub. There we go. Now they'll start looking a little bit bleh, kind of for a while, but we're not eating them raw, so that's the main part. So cover them all in all the herbs and the spicinesses. Right, on my bench here. Now my coating could have stuck a little bit better on some of these, but that's okay, because they're not finished yet. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave these on the bench for about 5 minutes, and I'm going to set up the pressure cooker so we can brown these off. Alright, so now I've got my pressure cooker sitting here on the bench without the top on, with about 2 tablespoons, maybe 3, just to coat the bottom of the pressure cooker with oil. Now it is getting hot, it's just started to come up to a alright temperature. So what we're going to do now is we're going to whack our wings in, the flesh side down, just to brown the outside of these. Now we don't want to cook them, we just want to brown them a little bit. Now remember not to crowd the pan, because if you do that, it loses too much of its temperature too quickly. And we don't want to do that, because we want to keep them browning. Alright, I'm going to time lapse this bit, come back when these are all browned. Alright, so now I've browned that off, but all like little bits of herbs and some stuff stuck to the bottom of the pan. We're not going to let that go to waste, because what we're going to do now is I have 1.5 cups of our beef stock. Now, you can use chicken stock, it'll make it a little less beefy-ish in the sauce. I prefer to use the beef, even though we're using chicken, to make our sauce at the end taste better. So, it's up to you, you can do what you like. I'm using beef. Put that in the bottom of the pan, like so. Grab my spatula, and I'm going to go running this back and forth across the bottom, picking up any of those little bits and pieces that might have stuck, getting them off, so we're actually what's called deglazing the pan. So all those good bits go into that liquid. Oh yeah, just like that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my trivet. Actually, I can't put the trivet in first. Got to put a couple of bay leaves in the bottom. 2 bay leaves in there. In with my trivet. Now you notice the water hasn't come up above my trivet. Now if you've put in that much liquid and your trivet is now underwater, take out a bit of the liquid. Trivet has to be above the water line. Alright, let's put these wings back in. Now all the juices and fat off these will drop into the bottom and help make that sauce, or help that stock in the bottom get more flavourful. Now we're going to be using that at the end, so let's get all these little guys in. Now it doesn't matter at this stage if they're sitting on top of each other, as long as the bigger parts of the bone for our chicken are sitting at the bottom, because that's where the heat's coming from. Alright, one more in, and put that in there. Well, there we go. She's all in. Make sure all of that good stuff stays there. Scrape off the board. Into there too. Alright, time to put the pressure on and cook. Click the lid on, set it to seal. Come around the front, select chicken, and we're going to double that time. We're going to put it up to 20 minutes. Under pressure, and we'll come back when that's done. Alright, see you in a minute. Alright, so now we've actually had this thing sitting for about 15 to 20 minutes after it's finished cooking, and it's completely released itself. So what we're going to do is take off the lid, like this, put this aside. Now we're going to take out these wings. Don't they look good? They already smell amazing. So take these out, put them on the board. These smell pretty good as they are. Who cares about sauce? I do. I care about the sauce. Alright, let's get this up. Take the trivet out. Make sure that there's nothing stuck to the bottom again. Perfect. Now I'm going to bring this back up to cook. Let's hit the right button. So I'm going to start this cooking again. Take out one of the bay leaves. There's the other bay leaf. And that beef stock at the bottom, we're going to use to turn into our sauce. So, what do you need next? Well, I need to get my cup measure, pour out 1 cup of ketchup or tomato sauce, whichever you have handy. 1 cup. We need 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. 1, 2. Just to give it a bit of bitterness. 2 to 3 tablespoons of golden syrup, or treacle, or molasses, or whatever thick sugary syrup you actually have. I wouldn't go maple syrup because it's too watery still. So this is a thick. So 1. Straight off in the sauce. Seems to always want to stick to the inside of my spoon. But that's not the last. We've still got one more. One very Australian ingredient, which is Vegemite. Now, people might be going, why are you going to put Vegemite in a sauce? Well, it is a very salty, yeasty kind of a flavour that you get from it. So I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon in there and mix that in. So salty, yeasty kind of a flavour. It's pretty good, actually, in cooking. You wouldn't think so, because some people really don't like it. But I love it. I wouldn't eat tablespoon after tablespoon of it by itself. That's just something that is just silly. But putting a little bit in to cook with, it's a great idea. Alright, let's time lapse this bit. I need to reduce this by half. Thicken this sauce. Alright, so we're at that critical stage where the sauce has come almost down to where I need it. But we haven't finished yet. We need to chuck in our wings. So I'm going to quickly chuck these back in here, cook on for about another 5 minutes, and then come back. Alrighty. That's done. That has smelled amazing. I mean, my neighbours must be thinking, what, are they a gourmet restaurant next door or something? That's how good this smells. Alright, time to serve up my chicken wings. Now, the chicken wings were already cooked when I put them in the sauce. This is just to reheat them up because we took it out to thicken the sauce, and to make sure the sauce gets coated on all on the outside of these wings, so that you know and I know that they're going to taste amazing. Oh, they actually look really good. Sometimes I like to chop my wings into drumettes and wingettes, which is basically these cut in half. But I'm glad I didn't today. I'm glad I left them whole so that you guys can see how good a wing you can actually get with them still being quite whole. And I wanted these to be, you know, quite full and flavoursome. Last step. Some of this gorgeous sauce that we've reduced over the top of these. Now this sauce, that what's left if you don't use, can be kept in the refrigerator for about a week. Just make sure you keep it covered so that it doesn't get to the air. Doesn't get in and make it off. Alright, that's done. This has been the easiest barbecue dry rub chicken wings that I've done. Just remember, if you've seen anything you like in these videos, make sure you give us a big thumbs up. Don't forget any comments, questions, or maybe things you want us to try and cook. leave it in the comments field below on YouTube. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and get notified when I do these Cooking with Craig segments, my daily vlogs, Urban Explorer, car maintenance, what's in the box, checkout basket, you name it, I film it, it ends up on YouTube. So, hit the subscribe button. And until next time, see you in the next video.